So, dear student, welcome to our third class of international relations. So, dear student, we have already covered two classes of international relationship. So, you can go there and watch it, and after that, you can come back here. So, before making this document, so I have gone through all the important material that is available in market. So, I have collected all the important topics and also do some value addition that is important for your prelims. So, this video and the PDF is one-stop solution for your prelims. So, if any question asked in UPSC, either you'll get it from here or you'll not get from anywhere. Okay, so please read it properly and do some value addition further. Like during this discussion of this video, I'm going to suggest something like 5, 6, 7, 8. So some homework. So please do practice that homework. Make note of it. Make some download some maps. Do some homework. Then only it is my 100% guarantee all question you will get from here. ठीक है? चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So first one is about the Association of Southeast Asian, that is ASEAN Centrality. So what is the full form of ASEAN? Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So why in news? Because recently we have seen there is weakening of ASEAN. So ASEAN Centrality is under strain due to great power rivalry, trade tension, and shifting of Indo-Pacific order requiring reform and deeper partnership. So this is what the problem the ASEAN bloc is facing. So ASEAN bloc was 10 member, now one member last recently joined, so we are going to see that in detail. So next important question is, what is ASEAN? So ASEAN is formed in 1967 in Bangkok via ASEAN declaration. So this is very important. This can be pick one statement, they ask it, so they can change Bangkok, instead of Bangkok they can give different locations to check whether you know it or not. So next is aim. So what are the aim of ASEAN? So economic and cultural progress, peace, stability, rule of law, cooperation in trade, education, agriculture and industry. Very generic things. So this kind of things can be picked. The objective of ASEAN is to promote, let's say, peace, stability, cooperation in trade, education. So you have to have some idea to correct it. So secretariat located in Jakarta, Indonesia. This is also very important. They can change that, say that secretariat located in Bangkok. Okay, so or any other city. So you have to remember. And member, so it is 11 member. Earlier it used to be 10 member, but now recent member join is Timor Leste. So first one is Indonesia, Malaysia. Here you can see it. So the member is given. So Myanmar, ठीक है, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei, Philippines and Timor Leste. ठीक है, so this is recently. So here you can see one more thing. The Laos is a landlocked country. ठीक है, Laos is a landlocked country. So there is no direct access to the ocean. So this can be a very good question. So Laos, which of the following ASEAN country is a landlocked country? ठीक है, so this is a very good question. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next ASEAN summit. So in during each and every year there will be a summit, that is head of the state they attend the ASEAN summit. So apex policy body with head of the state or government, like that can be prime minister or the president, they meet together and make the policy of the ASEAN. So charter 1.15 core aims to uphold ASEAN centrality in regional partnership. So basically aims to protect or promote the Asian interest. Okay, so relevance of Asian centrality in the region. So what are the relevance? Why the centrality of ASEAN is very important? Because security and stability, these are small country, 11 country, if they have cooperation, collaboration, that can prevent the regional conflict na? So ASEAN regional forum, ASEAN defense ministerial meeting plus, and enable defense maritime security dialogue with external power. So not only bring peace within the ASEAN, they can also have interaction or dialogue with the external power like UK, USA, then China, India. So that is what led to the whenever there is a block, they speak unitedly. That is what led to the strength, or ना, ठीक है, that is what the main objective. ठीक है, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. It also led to the economic integration. So RCEP depend. So they have signed a trade agreement, regional comprehensive economic partnership agreement, defend the Asia Pacific trade network under the ASEAN. So RCEP, India was negotiating the RCEP. ठीक है, India was negotiating the RCEP, but we have not signed the RCEP, but ASEAN member they have signed the RCEP. ठीक है, so norm building. So treaty of amity and cooperation evolved into key framework with signatory including USA, China and Russia. ठीक है, so that means this is also help in building the norms. For example, they are negotiating to develop a code of conduct in South China Sea, and how they are going to have trade relations. So that is what helpful in building that. So next is a threat to the centrality of ASEAN. So why ASEAN is facing such a threat? So first one is about the great power rivalry. So we know that USA and China, they are fighting. For example, China is pushing for Belt and Road Initiative, wants to checkbook diplomacy, provide funding to this poor country to gain strategic access as to all these ports or the strategic assets. While on the other hand, USA is already having significant presence in the ASEAN nation. So that is what led to the conflict. So next one is about the trade strain. So I think recently after Donald Trump coming into power, so I think you already know they are imposing heavy tariff on all these ASEAN country, and ASEAN country are dependent on the USA for their trade. They are also dependent on the China also for their trade. So that is what led to the US tariff disrupt ASEAN dependence on the trade flow. Okay. So next, I think this is a duplication. Just a second. So next is overlapping of architecture. So in if you look into Indo-Pacific or this ASEAN Centrality, there are multiple organizations. For example, Quad. Quad is for a quadrilateral security dialogue among the USA, four country, Japan, India, and Australia. So their main objective is to promote security stability. So AUKUS, AU, AUKUS is also one more institution that is having USA, UK, and Australia. So existence of the multiple organization create confusion. So overshadow the ASEAN-led security forum. So next one is about the internal division. So differing member stance on the China. For example, Vietnam is having territorial dispute with the China. So Vietnam is cautious or caution about the having trade relation or security tie with the China. On the other hand, the poor country like Cambodia, Laos, they need a lot of investment money. So they are depending heavily on the China. So that is what led to the internal division also. Next is credibility crisis. So I think already you know that the in Myanmar, military junta, they capture the power through the coup. So weak on Myanmar, 5 point consensus on external power filling the vacuum. So despite having negotiation, 5 point consensus not yet achieve the objective. So that is what led to the credibility crisis that ASEAN is facing. So next one is about the institutional weakness. So resource poor secretariat limit the ASEAN impact. So lack of resources, proper manpower also weaken the institution of ASEAN. Okay. So way forward, this is not important for our examination. So this is very important. How India can deal with shift of ASEAN centrality. For example, we can synchronize our efforts. So we are already launching a program like Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative. So that is focusing on the centrality of ASEAN with ASEAN outlook on Indo-Pacific. So both ASEAN and India, we are concerned about the peace prosperity of Indo-Pacific. So you can merge it, make a single policy. So explore synergy. For example, sub-regional grouping like IORA, Indian Ocean Rim Association. Already we have discussed in previous lecture. Please watch that. So next one is about the BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical Economic Cooperation. Then IMT. So what is the full form of I? It is Indonesia. M for Malaysia. T for Thailand. Growth Triangle. So IMT means Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, growth triangle. So they are basically focusing to promote growth in the three country. Okay. So ASEAN Indian next one is about the review of Asia India trade in good agreement. So if you look into our free trade agreement, we are having free trade agreement with ASEAN on the goods. So that can be simplified ASEAN India trade agreement for easier trade, so that it can be make easy for doing trade. And we can also make it simple rules and opening of more markets so that our trade can have boost. Trade is a you can say cement or you can glue that bind between the two countries. The more trade we are having with the ASEAN, so our relation will be improved very strong. Okay. So implementation of the tourism and work plan, so depending cooperation. Okay. So I think this is very important. IMT GT, so they can ask about what is that. Okay. So you have to remember it. Chaliye. Hope dear student this first article is you are able to understand it. If you are able to understand it, please comment in the comment box. If you are not able to understand, where you are facing problem, and if you have any suggestion, feedback, anything you want to incorporate, any way of improving it, definitely you are always welcome to give the feedback. चलिए हम चलते हैं next topic पे. So next is BRICS Rio de Janeiro declaration. So the BRICS summit is held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So 17th BRICS summit. So you have to remember. Sometimes they ask about 17th BRICS summit is held in this country, that country. 16th BRICS summit is held in that country, this country. Okay? And strengthening global South cooperation for inclusive, sustainable, and governance. So you have to remember which summit are the 17th BRICS summit and what are the outcome of it. What are the main theme of it? Sometimes they can ask in your examination. So key highlights of the BRICS summit. First one is participation. First time, 11 full member, 10 partner, 8 invited nations, many international representative participated in the BRICS summit. So first time Indonesia is welcome as a member. So this is very important. Sometime they can ask about which of the following are recently joined member of the BRICS. They can give 5 6 name. They can ask only one, only two, only three, only four. This kind of statement they can ask. So you have to remember the name. Okay. So welcome to yes, we are going to see about the name. So other member, these are not members. Okay. So launch of the partnership for elimination of the socially determined disease. So I think you already know about neglected tropical disease. Some disease they are only found on the tropical region, poor country, like located between the tropic of Cancer and tropic of Capricorn. So these region are basically poor countries, so these are facing this kind of disease. For example, malaria, you can say about all such neglected tropical disease. So to boost cooperation and resource to eliminate the social determined disease linked to the poverty and inequality in the global south. So already I have discussed about the global south. There is a line below that, all these countries are called global south. So please refer to that my first class. Already we have discussed that. Okay. So BRICS leader framework on climate finance. So they have already talked about the developed country. They are responsible for the climate change. So they have to provide fund, they have to provide technology, they have to take the leadership. And the developing country, they are not responsible. We are having our goal of moving people out of the poverty. So we cannot have that commitment. So we need funding, we need technology. Then only we can commit and reduce our emission. Okay. So BRIC leadership declaration on global AI governance, principle on digital sovereignty. So AI is the future. So BRICS, the developing country, they need to adopt AI, they need to be leader in AI. For example, we can have digital sovereignty. That means all data that being generated in India should have this data should have, our country or we people should have control over that, because it is my data, so I should be ownership of that data. So UN multilateralism, that means at the UN level we should promote multilateralism. Voice of south, voice of the poor country should have equal voice as the developed country. Responsible AI development, AI should be developed in a way that is helpful for the human being. It should not be created in a way that is harm for the people. Fair competition and data fairness, environmental sustainability, and ethical AI. So these are the principles they have discussed. So BRICS leader framework declaration on climate finance. So we have also adopted a climate finance. So climate finance goal, call on the developed country to provide 300 billion green fund. For example, this developed country, Europe, USA, so all these industrialized country, they are responsible for the global warming and rise in temperature. They should provide funding for the developing country to mitigate, adopt the climate change. Okay. So 300 billion they have accepted by 2035, and they need to immediately provide 10 billion by 2025. Okay. So innovative financial instruments, so we need to explore innovative financial instrument. For example, blended finance, guarantees, insurance, thematic bonds, forex risk mitigation, and regulatory initiative, so that that fund can use for the green development. Okay. So they have launched tropical forest forever fund. Tropical forest forever fund, recognizing as a mechanism to fund tropical forest conservation, launched at COP28 UAE. So dear student, this COP is very important. So each and every year the COP where happen, what are the outcomes, so you have to remember. So they can ask, they can say about COP 28, COP 27 held in this location, held in this location, and then they can ask about which of the following are correctly matched. So at least previous 4 5 COP you have to remember, and some important COP you have to remember, like Paris, Glasgow. So you have to remember at which date, exact year, then what are the outcome. For example, Paris COP, then Glasgow COP. ठीक है, so you have to remember. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So aim for large scale predictable payment combining with public and private fund targeting 4 billion annually. Payment based on the each country preserve tropical forest area. So this tropical forest forever fund is created. Basically they are predictable payment combining public and private fund targeting 4 billion annually. They are going to provide $4 billion annually. And payment based on the country preserve tropical forest area. If a country preserve their forest area in a good way, so they'll get good amount of funding. Hope dear student you are able to understand it. So please give me your feedback. If you like this video, always please like, share, comment in the comment box, because your like, share, comment worth of putting this invest the amount of time we're investing. Okay. So that really motivate me to improve my content, and I'll provide all the 1 year current affair. Don't worry, it is one stop solution. And जैसे ही ये कंप्लीट हो जाएगा मेरा डिस्कशन ऑन आईआर, आई combine all this PDF of IR, I'll just put in my Telegram group description given in the group, link, or you can just click this link. Okay, you can just click this link to join. Okay, चलिए, here the Telegram link is given, you can join it. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So next is BRICS and Global South cooperation. So we have already discussed about Global North, Global South. So there is a line called Brundtland line. Below that line, all countries are called Global South. They are actually poor, underdeveloped country. So they are past having history of colonialization. Okay, so these are having colonial history. So they are suffering from common problem. So India being a leader of Global South, we want to promote Global South interests at the international level. So Rio de Janeiro Declaration underscores BRICS commitment to Global South. So BRICS want to improve status, condition, and economy of Global South. So the strengthening global governance, call for more developing country role in global decision, transparency, even leadership selection, and even reform supporting Brazil and India. So if you look into all our international architecture, that be that IMF, World Bank, UNSC, so they are represented by the superpower, those who are at the time of World War II, like USA, UK, French. Okay, so these are old power, but now their power economy is not that powerful. But the emerging country like India, they are very powerful, but still we don't have any voice in this IMF, World Bank, UNSC. So we want reform so that more voice should be given to the Global South, because this project, a developmental project, mostly implemented in the developing country. If most of the project are implemented, most of the schemes are implemented in developing country, they should have voice on that, na? So next is multipolarity and Global South. So if you look at our international order, so they are dominated by one or two country. Earlier it is used to be UK, now USA. In future China try to dominate it. I'm making it sole, the order should favor the powerful country, but India want, or the BRICS want, the international order should be multipolarity. That means not a single country dictate everything. Okay, so highlight Global South role amid geopolitical tension, economic slowdown, technology change, and protectionism. So Bretton Woods institution reform. So Bretton Woods institution means IMF and World Bank. So urge governance reform with merit based, inclusive selection, and diversity. So if you look into IMF and World Bank, their chief are always recruited either from the USA or UK, because the USA and not UK, European Union, the USA and European Union, they dominate both these institutions. So they are having significant voting power. So India is having only 2.75 around. I'm not exact, but around 2.75. But US is having 16% voting. So that means without US approval, not a single resolution or reform can be passed in the World Bank or IMF. So just imagine how they are dominating. So we want a reform of this institution. So next one is trading system. One, against unilateral tariff, support fair, open, consensus-based WTO trading system. So after Donald Trump coming into power, imposing unilateral tariff on India, all countries, and threatened to withdraw from the WTO. So that is what led to the might is right. So if you are a powerful country, you can use trade as leverage to push and get your demand and bully the small country to get trade concession. So this is against the Global South. So that is what India is appealing. So next is international economic cooperation. So pushes for BRICS economics partnership by 2030, BRICS multilateral guarantee pilot to reduce investment risk. So these are very important. Sometimes they can ask about pushes for BRICS economic partnership 2030 and BRICS multilateral guarantee pilot to reduce investment risk. So they can ask about what are the outcome of Rio de Janeiro BRICS summit under the Global South. So just have a fair amount of idea. They can pick one or two statement from here and directly they can ask. If you have just read it once, you can able to eliminate it. In prelims, no need to go understand everything. If you are having one reading, two reading, then you can able to identify which one statement is right and which one statement is wrong. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Then we have discussed about BRICS, lot of about BRICS. Then question is, what is BRICS? When it is formed? What are the objective? What are the institution of the BRICS? So let's see. So BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So it has its origin in 2001 by economist Jim O'Neill. Initially it is called as BRIC because at that time South Africa was not member. South Africa joined in 2010. So this can be a very good statement. They can said that BRICS, all the five countries joined at the starting. No, South Africa joined in 2010. देखो, each and every statement they can be a good question for the UPSC. So while reading, digest one statement, link in your mind, remember that, and think how they can use this statement to ask a question. So next, recently the BRICS is expanded to include member like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, UAE, Egypt, and Indonesia. Recently, Indonesia is joined. So that means we have total 11 members. Okay, so objective, what are the objective? Foster economic cooperation among members, challenging Western economic dominance. So objective, what are the objectives? So they basically aims to promote economic cooperation and challenging Western economic dominance. Western economic dominance found in World Bank and IMF. So basically they want to change that dominance so that there is a voice for the global south. Okay, so global statistics, if you look, they contribute 42% of the world population, that is 3.2, and 30% of the world area, 23% of the GDP. Okay, so China being the second largest economy, India is the sixth, but now it is improving. Okay, India is, so natural resources, lot of like plutonium, lot of resources rich region. So key feature, so control vast natural resources and minerals. So just read it. So BRICS is also having two financial institutions. One is about the new developmental bank, second one is about the contingency reserve arrangement. We are going to see. Okay, so they are also providing alternative to the Western institution. So earlier the country don't have any other option, they have to go either to the World Bank or IMF. But now the developing country, they are having options, they can also go to the new developmental banks to get cheap funding. Okay, so they also represent global south aspiration for multipolar world order. Let's say South African country, they don't have any option because they have to fall back to whatever the dictate given by the USA or European Union. But now they have the voice, the BRICS can have their voice, promote their voice. That is what led to the promotion of multipolar international world order. ठीक है, strategic importance, so it is a counterbalance to the Western economic dominance. Yes, so a regional cooperation in trade and investment, so it can promote cooperation among these countries so that there is an increase in the trade among this country. Shift of economy power from developed to emerging markets. Yes, so if you look into center of gravity of economy, so earlier this developed country, G7, they were driving the economy, but now they are not the leader. It is the India, China. So now they are driving the economy of the world. So shifting economy power from developed to emerging market, alternative development financial mechanism. So we have established some financial institution, for example, new developmental bank, contingency reserve arrangement. So that can act as an alternative to already established institution like World Bank and IMF. Okay, so let's see about this new development bank and contingency reserve arrangement. So these are twin institution of BRICS. Okay, so offer an alternative to traditional Western led IMF and World Bank. Earlier, let's say poor country don't have any other option, they have to go to the IMF and World Bank, and before giving loan, the IMF and World Banks, they impose stricter conditions, so which is very difficult for this country to follow. But this new developmental bank, they are more, or you can say sympathy, more lenience towards all these developing countries. That is the reason they can get easy funding. So new developmental bank, so finance infrastructure and sustainable development project in BRICS and other emerging market. Okay, sustainable and infrastructure project. So headquarter located in Shanghai with an African regional center. So this can be a very good question. BRICS headquarter located in Shanghai. So one more bank is AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. It is being, China is the largest shareholder. It is located in the Beijing. So this question already asked in UPSC. Okay? So AIIB headquarter located in which location? In that option, it is given AIIB headquarter in Shanghai. So that is the reason if you look into PYQ and study it, you will get a lot of insights. Okay? So headquarter you need to know. So UPSC already asked this question. So South Africa to operate with the equal voting share of the funding member with no single nation dominating. So voting share of all five nations are equal. So that means it shows consensus-based equality in the sharing of the voting. So goal is to provide long-term finance with potential more flexible condition than traditional institution, focusing on green energy and infrastructure. So these are objective of new developmental bank. Please read it very carefully. So this can be a very good question. If not question in mains, you can write about that. Na? So what are the outcome of, what are the achievement of the BRICS? You can say about one is new developmental bank, second one is contingency reserve arrangement. So what is contingency reserve arrangement? Let's say there are countries. Let's say there is a X country is facing balance of payment crisis, BOP crisis. Don't have the foreign exchange reserve to do the import. In that case, they can take loan either from the IMF and World Bank or from this contingency reserve arrangement. Now, if you are going to IMF to take some loan, they impose stricter condition, which is very difficult for this country to survive. For example, in Greece when approached to the IMF, they provide loan, but that loan led to the more crisis than solving the problem. That is what the problem. To help that, the BRICS country established contingency arrange reservement, a backup safety nets for member facing balance of payment pressure or currency crisis, providing short-term liquidity. So if you are facing, forex crisis, you don't have foreign exchange to import your goods, let's say oil import or any import, you can take money from this contingency arrange reservement, and later on you can pay back. So fund size, we have established 100 billion with contribution. China is 41, Brazil, India, Russia is 18 each, and South Africa 5 billion. So this contingency reserve arrangement, not all countries are contributing equally. But in new development bank, everyone is contributing equally. This is the difference we have to remember. This can be a very good question also. So function offer a pool of international reserve via liquidity swap to stabilize economy, reducing reliance on the IMF during crisis. So all these five countries, they don't have to depend on the IMF. And you know that IMF dictate a lot of conditions. So we have freedom from dictation of IMF. So that is the main objective of this contingency reserve arrangement. So dear student, hope this discussion you are able to understand. So please let me know what kind of problem you are facing, because without your feedback I cannot know anything. So please give me feedback as early as possible, so that later on when I make video, so I'll incorporate all these things. So if you want suggestion, if you want add more maps, anything you want you can suggest me. Okay, I'll definitely incorporate according to your suggestion. If you like this video, please like, subscribe to my channel, and please do share this video with a friend, because a lot of effort are needed to prepare this video. Try to understand. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. And your support, your love is real strength, motivate me to provide more good quality content. आगे बढ़ते हैं. So India, Latin America and Caribbean countries. So recently our Prime Minister visited Trinidad and Tobago, Argentina, Brazil, attend 17th BRIC summit in Rio. So where is the Trinidad? So it is located on the tip of the South America. Just have a location of the map. So maybe there is a question, so you have to ask. Nowadays UPSC mostly focusing on the countries that is traditionally being ignored, for example Africa, Latin America. So they are asking a lot of questions. So receive order of the Republic of the Trinidad and Tobago. So highest honor our prime minister is received. So I have make a list of all the honor that is being received by our prime minister. So I've already prepared that list. I'll share with you. So just read that. So this can be a good question also. So significance of the Latin American Caribbean islands for India. So first one is about the defense cooperation. So we can have good defense cooperation. For example, India and Brazil enhance tie by a joint defense committee and 2+2 dialogue. 2+2 dialogue means MEA, Ministry of External Affairs, plus Ministry of Defense of both, it is Brazil, plus Ministry of External Affairs, plus Ministry of Defense of India. They will sit together to debate, discuss all this issue we are facing. So if external affairs and defense can collaborate, that is what led to the more security cooperation. So critical minerals. So India is a growing country, and we are focusing on manufacturing, making India a manufacturing hub. We are aspiring to be global leader in defense aerospace. For that we need a lot of critical mineral. So we have organization called Kabil, Khanij Bidesh India Limited. What is the full form of Kabil? Khanij Bidesh India Limited. Basically, it is the organization or overseas organization of ONGC. Basically, it focuses on exploration and mining of critical minerals or different part of the world. Agree with the Cayman for lithium blocks in Argentina, that is lithium triangle. So hold 17.5% of the reserve. So what is the lithium triangle? It is called A. Very simple, ABC. ABC is also called lithium triangle. It is Argentina. A means Argentina, B means Bolivia, C means Chile. So these three countries hold 75% of global lithium. Lithium is the leader in, very essential for manufacturing of e-vehicle, like battery. So it is very important for us. So food security, I think you already know, India faces two important food related issues. One is edible oil, second one is pulses. And Latin America provides solution for both. So Latin America supply edible oils and pulses, which is very important for Indian market or consumer. Okay, so economic and trade relations. So trade and investment. So our trade reach 35 billion. So Indian farm invested in IT, pharma, energy, mining, manufacturing, and agrochemicals. India has preferential trade agreement with Mercosur. So we are already having preferential trade agreement with Mercosur. We are going to see what is Mercosur objective countries. So just have a patience. So next is energy security. So this South American region or Caribbean islands are rich in terms of oil mineral resources also. For example, Venezuela is the largest reservoir of oil. Mexico, Brazil hold 30% of Indian regional import. Okay, so crude oil import. So India we are also extending 140 millions line of credit to CARICOM. So what is CARICOM? Caribbean Community. We are going to see little bit of here. Don't worry. So next is cooperation at the regional and multilateral fora. So how this this Latin American country, Caribbean country helpful for our collaboration. For example, we are collaborating at G20, group of 20 developed nations, at BRICS, IPSA, India, Brazil, South Africa. G4 already we have discussed. It is German, Japan, India, South Africa. Okay. So these country are aspiring to be a member of UNSC permanent member. Okay. So next, engaging with community of Latin American and Caribbean states, CARICOM, Central American Integrated System. So what is Mercosur? So Mercosur is an it is a southern common market. It is for Spanish. It's a Spanish word. It means southern common market. So it's formed in 1991 with objective of free movements of good, service, capital, and people. Remember that, good, service, capital, and people. So state party Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Venezuela is recently suspended. So this can be a very good question. They can ask about which of following are member of CARICOM. Yes, Venezuela is suspended because under USA pressure, and there is a coup, there is a, you can say, fraud election. That is what accused by the international community. That is what led to the suspension is member. So associate member, no need to remember. And what is the headquarter? Montevideo, Uruguay. That is more than enough. Just have a fair amount of idea. From there, they can ask very silly question. If you have gone through one or two, you can able to eliminate it and correct it in examination. So next is CARICOM. CARICOM means Caribbean Community. It is a 15-member regional organization established in 1973 to promote economy integration and cooperation in the Caribbean. Headquarter is Georgetown in Guyana. So to create single market economy allowing for free movement of goods, service, and people, so that there will be no restriction. Key pillar is economy integration, foreign policy coordination, human social development, and security. So recent news: several members, including Barbuda, Belize, recently implemented full freedom of movement of all CARICOM nations as on October 2025. So that means our nation are promoting more free movement of goods, service, people, and investment. It's a good thing. Okay. So hope, dear student, you are able to understand this relation with Caribbean and Latin American country. So let's see next we are going to see India and Brazil. So what are the relationship with India and Brazil? So our prime minister received Brazil highest civilian award, Grand Color of National Order of Southern Cross. So recently our prime minister received a lot of highest civilian honor. So this can be a very good question in your UPSC. So please know at least recent 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've just given a list in below, so you can just go through that. Key agreement signed during the visit. So cooperation on terrorism and transnational crime. So a lot of terrorist activity they are going on in India, but after having the terrorist activity, they can shift it to Latin America to take shelter there. So we can collaborate, cooperate, intel share, so that we can crack down. MOU on digital solution exchange for transformation. So we are planning to share the digital solution also, exchange and protection of classified informations. MOU on renewable energy, agriculture, and intellectual property. So create ministerial mechanism for trade investment monitoring. Okay. So priority pillar for next decade. So this is very important. So sometimes they ask about what are the priority pillar of Indo-Brazil in next decade. So defense, security, food, nutritional security, energy transition, climate change. If you just read once, you'll have fair amount of idea. Yes, Brazil is very important strategic partner of us. So this kind of relation we are expecting for next one decade. Okay, just go through it. No need to remember. If you are just reading once or twice, so you can able to eliminate in your examinations. So about India-Brazil relationship, bilateral cooperation. So strategic partner we have signed in 2006. Brazil is our strategic partner. So we have signed in 2006. So global cooperation, we are cooperating in BRICS, basics, G20, G4, IPSA, already we have discussed. So at the multilateral level, UN, WTO, UNESCO, WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, World Intellectual Property Organizations. So trade, so our bilateral trade is 12 billion. Okay. So defense cooperation, establish joint defense committee. So we have planning to joint develop a lot of military hardware also. So Brazil defense aerospace major emperor, so they are also planning to construct some jet in India also. So renewable energy, Brazil is co-funded global biofuel alliance. So Brazil is good at biofuel also. They are converting a lot of sugar cane into biofuel. So India can learn best practices from the Brazil, and they also ratified international solar alliance. Okay. So we are going to see international solar alliance in future chapter. So it is very important. It is the organization that is being promoted by India. It is started in Paris Climate Summit in 2015. ठीक है, so basically it aim to make India leader in the solar energy. ठीक है, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So I have given the list of all the highest honor that is being given to our Prime Minister. Order of Oman, confer first class on recently, so Sultan of national honor. So next is great honor of Nishan, Ethiopia. So from Ethiopia we are also getting. So most ancient, so Weltwich of, this is from Namibia. Grand Collar of National Order, Brazil. Order of Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Just remember which country, so you can able to eliminate. Order of Mark of the Great, Kuwait. The Order of Saint Andrew Apostle from the Russia. So other order they are given. So just go through all these things, so they can pick one or two, three. So they can ask about which of the following recently, which of following country recently awarded highest honor to our Prime Minister. So this can be a very good question. Okay. Hope dear student, so far you are able to understand everything. So let's proceed to next topic. Before that, dear student, if you have any suggestion, any feedback of that topic we have discussed, you are always welcome to give me suggestion. And जितना जल्दी आप suggestion मुझे दोगे, I'll try to incorporate all these things. Okay. So India Africa relationship, I think you already know Africa is emerging continent, future lies in the Africa. So that is the reason. And we are also leader of global south. So Prime Minister visited Ghana and Namibia, stating Africa goal are India's priority. So that means India is giving more importance to the what are the goal of Africa. So more on news, he received national honor on office of order of star of Ghana. Already we have discussed a lot of things. So both agree to upgrade comprehensive partnership. India's Africa policy built on old ties, because we are having century old ties. Like we are also fight for the African freedom movement, focus on the current need using consultative demand driven approach under Kampala principle of 2008. So while on the other hand, developed country they simply provide aid without consulting African people. China policies exploitation of minerals and without capacity development, but Indian approach is not that. We are mostly focusing on capacity development, local involving local people, and we are delivering project as per the local need. Okay. So strategic significance of Africa for India. So first one is about the strategic and geopolitics. So Africa partnered with India on global south issue. For example, UN and WTO. Africa is developed in a poor country, so they are supporting India on a lot of issue, so that it can give more voice to the India at the international levels. For example, African Union G20 membership, Asia Africa Growth Corridor. So during India's chairmanship of G20, so we accepted African Union membership to the G20. Also, India promote connectivity to counter the Belt and Road Initiative through the Asia Africa Growth Corridor. This is an initiative of India plus Japan to provide connectivity in the Asia and Africa to counter the BRI. So in defense also, we are doing a lot of military exercise. We are also training the military and defense personnel of this African country. For example, exercise like Milan, Cutlass Express. So this can be a very good question. The Milan exercise, Express, these are happening. So Indian Navy started African Indian key maritime engagement. So we are also providing military assistance. We are also providing patrolling vessels, okay, so that they can develop their own military capability. So next is economic. So Africa offer young market and key minerals. So Africa is, that is the reason it is the, you can say, prominent continent of 21st century. It is a good market. It is a rich in minerals. Youth, the population are youth, so they are going to drive the economy of the world in future decades to come. Okay. So Africa hold nearly half of the global cobalt and manganese. These are very important for our manufacturing sector. So India is Africa third largest trading partner. So it's also a good destination for our of our product also. So trade basket, India export fuel, food, medicine, import oil, diamonds and copper. So there is a complementarity in relation. Okay. So market access, India provide duty free access to the least developed countries. So I think in Africa there are a lot of countries, they are very forced. They don't have any market access. So India provide free market access. That means they can export their product without any tariff on Indian market, so that their economy will grow, their people will develop. That is what India's soft approach. Next is Indian soft power. So we are providing technical cooperation like education, health and nutrition. We are providing ambulance. We are providing protection of their agriculture, okay, animal husbandry also. So that is what soft power. We are providing scholarship, tele-education, medicine, reaching many African nations. So technology, India share digital technology like UPI, Rupee. So whatever the digital technology we are developing, we are providing it free of cost or at very low rate to the African nations so that they can reap the developmental or the all this the digital goods, or you can say the public digital goods that we are developing, we are giving it to the Africa as well. So next one is energy security. Africa has huge renewable potential. International Solar Alliance help measure solar project. Already I have told you, India is the leader of International Solar Alliance. Tell me, dear student, where the headquarter of International Solar Alliance is existed. Okay, and what are the 3 trillion objective of International Solar Alliance, which is very important. Please tell me in the comment box. Please make this session very interactive. So whatever task I am giving, please do practice that. Don't simply watch all this video. Okay. Concern in India Africa relationship. So project delay due to procedural and funding and logistics issue. So it is generally believed that India promised project but China delivered that. Because of our project are having delay in bureaucracy. Okay, so we have to fast track that implementation of the project. So Africa lack permanent event security council representative. Entire Africa continent not a single member in the UNSC membership. So they need to have one member. Na? India face competition from the China faster and larger investment. China is having large amount of money. They are aggressively pursuing market access and they have good inroad in the Africa as compared to India. That is what led to the sometimes project are bid by the China and India, and ultimately the project is going to the China. So that is what India need to learn how we can also do same thing. Na? So security risk from the political unrest and terrorism threaten the Indian interest. So in if you look into Africa, so they are suffer from terrorism, radicalization. So that is what led to the lot of project being endangered or threatened. Okay. Hope dear student this article you were able to understand and get a lot of insight. So if you are getting a lot of insight helpful, please write in the comment box. And if you have any suggestion regarding anything you want, definitely you should write. So I'll bring that. So next is Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Economic Community of West African State, ECOWAS. So ECOWAS mark 50th anniversary this year. So who are the member? Already I have given the map: Niger, Mali. Okay, just go through it so that just a fair amount of idea, because nowadays UPSC mostly asking question on the African and African states or Latin American region. So established in 1975. So 15 West African country through Treaty of Lagos. So the headquarters is Abuja in Nigeria. So regional blocks of ECOWAS comprising of 12 West African countries. So just remember, no need to remember, just go through one reading or two reading and just remember it is West African region. So if you remember that much, UPSC will give a lot of hints so that you can solve it. So what are the aim? To promote cooperation, integration of an economic union of West Africa. ECOWAS established its free trade area 1990, adopted common external tariff in January 2015. So it's economic bloc, try to promote economy interest among these countries. So India ECOWAS relation. So how we have evolved our relationship. So diplomatic relation, India became the observer to ECOWAS in 2004, supported bid for. So this ECOWAS country, they supported India's membership of UNSC, United Nations Security Council permanent member. South-South cooperation. So India supported regional development of Western African Union through MOU between ECOWAS Center for Regional Energy Efficiency, India's International Solar Alliance. So we are using International Solar Alliance to promote solar energy there. That is the reason we are having good relations. So economic cooperation in 2006, India gave grouping a line of credit of 250 million to supplement focus of African program launched in 2002, 2003. So just remember what is ECOWAS, because it is 50 year and who are member. Even just go through it and just remember they are West African nations. Okay, that is more than important, that is more than enough for your examinations. So hope dear student you are able to understand. If you are finding it helpful, definitely you should like, you should share, and you should comment and subscribe to my channel so that you will not miss any update. So next one is about the group of 7, that is G7 nations. So it's very important, the area I'm highlighting, please remember that. So India participated an outreach country in 51st G7 summit held in Kananaskis in Canada. So this can be a very good question. G7 summit recently held in which country? India is not a member, but India is participated. Because of that, it is very important. And continuously last 4-5 summit, India is always participated. So that is the reason it is very important for our examinations. So on the sideline of that, we are also able to improve our relationship with the Canada. So I think you know that before that there is a Canada government, Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. So our relation has been plunged to low nosedive because of in the Canada accused that Indian government involved in killing of the Khalistani terrorist and Khalistani group, and India accused that the Canada government supporting and sheltering all this Khalistani group. They are carrying out all this activity in the Canada. So that is what led to the relationship is deep. But after this, India's participation in G7 summit and relation now improving in a good way. So you can say participation in G summit may not be that important, but by participating that we are able to improve our relation with G7. Okay, so that is very important. So key outcome of G7 summit, so Canada's key wildfire charter. So they are adopted society approach to tackle the wildfire of our forest. So G7 critical mineral action plan. So what is critical minerals? These minerals are very much essential for our defense, aerospace and advanced technology. So China is dominating all these critical minerals. So India is worried about that, and if we can collaborate with G7, so that is what led to the uninterrupted supply of all this critical mineral for our manufacturing sector. So AI initiative, so G7 they are also launch GAN G7 AI networks. Okay, so global security and response. So they are all countries they have taken a stand on the Ukraine crisis. So G7 imposed sanction on the Russia and add Ukraine using frozen assets. So they have sanctioned all the Russian assets. So by using that assets, they provide aid to the Ukraine. So a China policy condemn the Taiwan coercion, drop one China reference, launch PGII. So we are going to see PGII. What is PGII? So actually, China behavior in the South China Sea and its bully behavior in Taiwan is cause of concern not only to the G7, it's everyone. So they have dropped one China policy. One China means China said that China, according to one China policy, China claimed that if any country want to have good relation with China, they should not recognize Taiwan as a separate country. They have to accept that there is one China, Taiwan is part of the China. But G7 recently they dropped that. They said that they don't recognize that Taiwan is part of the China. Okay, so about G7, which is very important for your examinations. So it is formed in 1975 in response to the energy crisis for economic cooperation. So there was an economic energy crisis in 1975. In response to that, all these developed countries they comes together to cooperate on the economic basis. So an informal blocks of industrialized country. It is very important. Informal block of industrialized country. They are the former industrialized country, or currently they are the leading developed country. They are French, Germans, Italy, UK, Japan, USA, and Canada, which is very important. Remember that. Earlier, it used to be G8. So Russia was member. So Russia was member in 1998 to 2014 until Crimea annexation. So dear student, you have to map the Crimea. Crimea is located, near to the Black Sea. So that was annexed by the Russia in 2014. So after that, Russia was suspended as a member. So purpose annual meeting on global issue like economic governance, internal security, and energy policy. Okay, so they have launched a lot of outcome. So let's see. So influence agenda of international institution, like they have this G7 meeting. They've influenced the UN policies. What are the agenda? IMF reform, World Bank. So they also influence the tax governance. So OECD and G20 inclusive framework to ensure fair global taxes rules. So what happened? All these multinational companies they operate in the developed country, but they don't pay taxes in the developed country. They evade the taxes. So that is what led to the tax governance, so that all country can get equitable benefit of the taxes. So anti money laundering. So there are countries, there are the MNCs or people who are violating the laws to launder the money. So like corruption money or illegal money can convert it to legal money. So this G20 G7 help in developing the financial action task force. Okay, and that is what tackle the money laundering. So establish sustainable and digital governance. So engage in global south. Okay, so act as a club of democracy. So these are former democratic countries, so they act as a club of democracy. No need to go in detail, I think that is not important. So India's strategic interest at G7. So why we are participating in G7, what are the benefit we will get? So first one is strategic balancing. So positioning as a bridge between industrialized west and global south. India being a leader of global south, and we are also participating in the developed countries. So that means India is acting as a bridge between global south and developed countries. So India is a bridge. So economic cooperation, strong proponent of G7 PGII. So already we are going to discuss about partnership for global infrastructure investment. So we are going to see it. Don't worry. for infrastructure investment in developing country. So democratic credential, India's democracy and fourth largest economy status make it voice of influence. Okay, so India is fourth largest economy and democracy. So bilateral platform, so venue for talk, like Prime Minister of India and Canada, they have resolved their dispute and promote good relations. Okay, so this is the importance of India's participation in the G7. Okay, let's see about initiative that is being promoted in the G7, that is called PGII, Partnership for Global Infrastructure Investment. Partnership for Global Infrastructure Investment is a G7-led initiative to mobilize 600 billion by 27 for infrastructure project in developing nation. So basically, PGII aims to mobilize 600 billions of infrastructure funding by 2027 in developing country. So key details क्या है? Provides transparent, high standard alternative to the China's Belt and Road Initiative. Focus area: clean energy, secure digital network like 5G, 6G, health system, and gender equality. So these are the area fund are mostly provided. So major projects, so Lobito corridor. So just remember the corridor where they are going to implement, linking African mineral mines to the global market via Angola. So IMSC India Middle East Economic Corridor, connecting India to Europe through Middle East, which is very important. So UPSC may ask this question. So previous year they asked about INSTC, International North South Transport Corridor. Okay, so this year maybe they ask this question. So you have to map it and find this corridor moving from which region, like from India to which region, then which region. So you should have idea. Then Luzon corridor, so enhancing connectivity in Philippines. So lead participant, so United States, European Union. So global gateway, so European Union in investment infrastructure project is global gateway, and other G7 members. So this partnership for global infrastructure investment, they are basically providing funding and countering the Chinese influence of Belt and Road Initiative. Okay, dear student. So dear student, this is all about the third class of international relationship. So dear student, if you find this video are helpful, please like my video and subscribe to my channel, and please do share your thought in the comment box, and please share this video with a friend so that more number of students can benefit from it. And at this point in time, I need your support, because to prepare this content, a lot of effort is needed, and a small team, I have to work everything. So I need your support. Please do support me so that I can provide you entire current affair content, that to free of cost with quality. And if you are watching this video and reading this PDF, no need to go anywhere, because I've already collected everything for you, and also adding some value addition also. I'll do the same thing in all my future classes. So please support me. Chaliye, dear student, bye bye, take care, have a good day, bye.